Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Man, Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here. So, as you guys probably already know, huge trade just went down. Mookie Betts is moving from Boston to the LA Dodgers. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the trade. I want to get a little bit more in depth. I want to give you my thoughts on the deal. Would really like to hear your thoughts. I think a lot of this depends on where you're from. I think if you're from Boston right now, you're probably super pissed off, right? You basically, here goes our best player, maybe the best player in the league. There's a guy named Mike Trout, but one of the top three players in the league is gone. We've got no chance to win a World Series, and let's just sell the team, and I'm moving to Florida or something. If you're from somewhere else, I'd be interested also to hear your thoughts as well. I think it's pretty clear when you look at this from both Boston's perspective and the Dodgers, and also Minnesota Twins are throwing in this a little bit, but we're not going to really talk about them today. From the Dodgers' perspective, this is an easy win. You get one of the best players in the league. So we're not even going to really hit on the Dodgers very much because there's not a whole lot to say. You're probably going to win the World Series. It's probably going to be Yankees against the Dodgers, and the Dodgers got the greatest lineup in the history of baseball right now. It's unbelievable. So we're not going to hit on it a ton from the Dodgers perspective. And you get David Price, let's just say that. And I think David Price, you'll take David Price even though he gets paid a ton of money. I mean, he's going to... I think he's going to actually pitch better out there than he did in Boston. And he wasn't bad in Boston. He just got a huge contract. And people are mad that he's getting paid, $32 million a year. And he's not performing like that. But he's still a decent pitcher, okay? Let's focus on it from the Boston perspective, okay? That's where a lot of people are upset. I think most people are like, what the hell? Like, what are the Red Sox doing? Okay, so let's get into that. Okay, first, let's talk about what the Red Sox got in return for Mookie Betts and David Price, and then we're going to really dig down into the details of this, okay? So the first thing the Red Sox get back is Alex Verdugo. Okay, he's 23 years old. He's a former second-round pick. So this is a guy that was a really high pick. And I was looking at Baseball Savant. He does a lot of things really well. He just hasn't had a ton of playing time yet. Now, he's very young, and it's tough to break into that Dodgers lineup, right? Last year, he got like 340 or 50 at-bats, and so it's tough for him to be an everyday player. Now he comes over to Boston. He's going to be an everyday player. He's going to be a guy they're going to throw out there, and they're going to say, hey, man, you're our guy out there. Now, when you look at his overall skill set, it's interesting. He has some pretty good contact skills and power skills. He's pretty athletic. Again, looking at Baseball Savant, check this out. So he rates above average in exit velocity, outs above average, so he's a pretty good defender, sprint speed, hard hit percentage, outfield jumps, expected batting average. So he has a good tool set, and I think he's going to be somebody that once he gets everyday at bats and he becomes a starter, and he's still very young, I think he's going to develop into a really nice player. So I like getting Alex Verdugo in this deal. Okay, and then from the Twins, you get one of their pitching prospects. He was a top 100 prospect, Brusdar Graterol. Throws hard as hell, throws 100 miles an hour, has a wipeout slider. He's only 21 years old. So this is a guy that I think they're going to try to make a starter, and if he doesn't turn out to be a starter, I think you put the guy in the bullpen. He's going to throw 100 plus miles an hour with a wipeout slider. I think he's going to be a really good player for a long time. So these are two solid players. They're solid young guys. They can both be really good. Now, I understand they're nowhere, obviously, they're not Mookie Betts, okay? But I do think that they've got a chance to be solid players. So now let's look at a couple of things from a Boston Red Sox fan perspective and also from the team perspective, okay? Most people are like, oh, we got nothing in return. We gave away Mookie Betts, one of the best players ever. Guy that's been with us forever. He's an MVP. He's the greatest player to ever walk the planet, right? Everyone's pissed off that they didn't get a bigger return. Okay, well, here's the thing. It's really tough to get a huge return when a player's on the last year of their contract and there's no guarantee that he is going to sign back with the Dodgers. Are the Dodgers going to try to just break the bank and pay the guy? Yeah, I'm sure they are. But Mookie has stated that basically he wants to get to free agency, okay? He wants to get to free agency. I've heard this report by a couple different people, basically for the players union, to be able to up the money of free agents in free agency, okay? So he's come out and said, I mean, like $400 million contract, maybe more. And the Red Sox offered him something. I know a lot of Red Sox fans are like, oh, they're lowballing him. But I don't think Mookie was going to sign. I think he just wants to get the free agency, okay? And again, this has been reported that people have said that he has said, I want to become a free agent, okay? So there's no guarantee the Dodgers are going to be able to sign him. Hell, he might come back to the Red Sox maybe, who knows? But when you're in that position, a team is not going to give up everything to rent the player for 1 year. So you can't expect in this trade that you're ever going to get equal of Mookie Betts, right? There is no equal. Like, they'd have to give up their entire farm system. You're not going to get equal. You're not going to get close to equal in this situation. Not only that, but you're throwing in David Price into this too. And so you're basically trying to unload his contract. He's got 3 more years at $96 million, I think it is, $32 million a year. And so when you want to get rid of that contract also, you can't expect that you're going to get more prospects. Now, I know David Price can still be a decent pitcher, but the Red Sox have made it clear that they wanted to move on from that contract, right? They're trying to get under the luxury tax. And so, again, if I'm going to give you a player that you might only be able to keep for 1 year, and I'm going to try to unload another contract on you, I can't expect you to give up your entire farm system in that deal. And if you look at other players that have been traded in this type of situation, whether it's Manny Machado or Paul Goldschmidt, they didn't get a huge haul in those deals, right? They were somewhat similar. Now, Mookie Betts is a better player than both of those guys. But again, this is typically what deals are going to look like in this situation. Okay, now the other part of the Boston fans that I'm hearing a lot of is just pay the man, just pay him, right? Everyone's saying, pay him, what are we doing? We already stated a few minutes ago that he has basically said he wants to go to free agency, okay? So paying him might not even have been an option. Now, sure, if you said, hey, Mookie, we'll give you $500 million, I'm sure he would have probably been like, yeah, I probably should take that. But you also have to look at the Red Sox, and they've got some really bad contracts on the books right now. And they've stated again that they're trying to get under the luxury tax, okay? And so this is a situation where they clearly felt that they were not going to be able to offer Mookie what he wanted to keep him from going to free agency. And so they've got a decision to make. Do we hold on to this guy throughout the year and let him basically walk at the end of the year for pretty much nothing? Do we hold on to him till maybe halfway through to the trade deadline and see how we're doing and then trade him there? I think Boston clearly thought that this is the most that they were going to get for him. I think they probably also think that their chances of winning this year are probably not super high. Obviously, I think they want to win, but I think their biggest priority right now is to set themselves up for the future. I think Chaim Bloom comes in and says, man, like, we've got some contracts that we do not like, and we're going to try to work our way through these things, and we're going to try to clear some of them off the books, and it might take us a year to do so, but we're going to set ourselves up to be in the best possible position to win going forward. If you look at some of these contracts, Pedroia is still in the books for a while, and he's not doing anything. Rusney Castillo's on the books, and he's not doing anything. And they've got huge contracts. And then you've got the Price contract, obviously, that you were able to unload. So I think that also comes into it too here. We're going to do this now because the Dodgers are willing to take on this contract, or maybe not all the contract, but a good amount of the contract. And we feel like if we can unload this now, let's freaking do it. And I think ultimately where Boston fans are probably the most mad is they've gone out over the last couple of years and signed players to huge contracts, right? And now you have Mookie Betts, one of your homegrown players, a guy that was drafted by your team in the 5th round, I think. He's developed in your system. He's become a superstar, and you can't re-sign him. And I know that really hurts if you're a Boston fan. But I think this also, when you look at giving out some of those contracts, right? This is why you have to be careful that you don't just throw money around and just have misses, because it can put you in a position where you cannot afford to keep your homegrown player that you desperately want to keep. Now, they might have not have been able to keep him anyway, even if they had not given out some of those contracts. But I think if you don't spend money in those spots where clearly it didn't work out, at least you've got a chance now to say, okay, Mookie, you want $400 million? Let's do it, right? And maybe you keep him from going to free agency. Where you're at now with those contracts on the books, it's pretty much impossible to do that. And I think that's why ultimately the Red Sox pulled the trigger now, because they knew they really weren't going to have a chance to sign him, and they didn't want to let him walk for nothing. So that's my thought on the entire deal. Hopefully that all made sense. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know Boston fans are still going to say this is the worst deal of all time. You know, the interesting thing is people are like, Mookie better not go on and have like a Hall of Fame career. He better not go on and be an all-star every year, or else this is going to be horrible. Good. The guy's amazing. The guy is going to put up huge, unless he gets hurt, he's going to put up huge numbers. We already know that. So a little bit will depend on, I think, how Verdugo does. I'll tell you this, though. I give Chaim Bloom some credit here. This guy just walked into like the worst situation ever, right? You come from Tampa, you come here, and you're in one of the biggest media markets in the world, a team that just came off a World Series in 2018, and you've got to trade one of the best players to play in a Boston Red Sox uniform. Like, that takes a lot of cojones to do, right? Like, that's a tough move to make. The fact that he made it, I got to give him a little bit of credit for it, because he's going to obviously get a ton of heat for this move right here. But I think it will be interesting to see how things do work out. How does Verdugo work out? Does he become a stud? Maybe a superstar? I don't know. I think he's going to be a solid player. And then what other moves happen down the line that they can start to free up some of this money, get under the luxury tax, and then let's see what they do with that money once they're able to get some more to spend. So, interesting stuff. Again, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the video. Give it a thumbs up. Share with all your friends. All that good stuff. And we'll talk to you later.